Predictions are going to be open, and of course we're going to be as unbiased as possible here. Hey, again, we're excited to see what Kamikaze can bring to the table against one of our own, one of the CranKy Ducklings.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a way to to say something that isn't mean, but I can't. So instead, I'll leave it at that. Here we are now on Oceanborn. We're over here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have our red Zerg player coming down from the land of Italy, representing the land of Peru. He is our very own CranKy Duckling coming out here to represent. Spreading his wings, he is El Condor.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Terran player representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze.
And Oceanborn just seems to be one of the more popular maps in the current pool.
Yeah, it seems to be. It isn't as quirky as some of the other maps, right? With like Radizet Station with the Pogged base, or Alcyone with the gold bases. There are certain features of this map, yes, but really what I think it is that everyone just misses Abyssal Reef, and they just want to go back to the sea.
Exactly. Man, the first time I saw a unit that died and floated all the way up, I was brought back instantly. I'm like, this is 2017 again. It's beautiful.
We're back, Papi. We're back. We could maybe do without the octopus that's floating around, which again always terrifies me and makes me think I'm getting dropped by a medevac. But regardless, yeah, it's really nice to see another underwater map after so long. I say after so long. I guess the last one was Data Under the Sea. I guess.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was Data under the sea, or did we make it under the sea?
Those,
I was also gonna say, like, was 2,000 atmospheres underwater? I don't think it was.
Nah,
I actually,
yeah,
put my memory to use.
Yeah, no, that was blue. It was blue though.
Yeah, same thing.
True. So do you see Kamikaze being a little bit annoying here? He's going to be blocking the third base. The Reaper is en route, and it looks like this drone should be hunted down. Up!
Oh, the block on the gas geyser. This is I was going to say the equivalent to losing your first creep tumor, but yeah, since it's the same. Both Zerg, it's the same thing. It's arguably worse.
I was about to say, are you talking about like the Zerg losing the same creep tumor? But I stopped myself because I'm like, that'd just be silly because it's the same matchup. What are you talking about? That wouldn't make any sense.
It's the exact same matchup now, I think. Yeah.
God damn it.
Look, all I'm saying is I don't know how I would recover from that mentally.
No, you wouldn't. No.
That's why I play Terran.
That's the difference between you and Kamikaze. Or Ryu, sorry. Oh my god, as we get into this though, a big shout out because in the chat, oh my god, we have Captain Hair, Senor Hair Papi, gifting 5 subs in the chat. Thank you.
El Capitan Hair. Gracias, papi. Gracias.
Sí, papi, el pelito. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Again, all the money that we make here on the channel goes towards our tournament, so thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your emotes, hope you enjoy your replay packs, because we do send out replay packs to our subscribers, and I hope you enjoy the content in general. Gracias.
Mission mark Discord in the chat for easier access to those sub replays.
There you go. Meanwhile, across the map, this is the beginning of what we assumed would occur. Cyclones are on the way, but okay, I was like, but we have an eBay on the way, but we do need the eBay to get into our armory, and we go for the add-on swap as well. We don't need no stim, we don't need no combat shields where we're going, because we're going into mech.
Oh yeah, a little overkill over there on the Zergling, but yeah, again, a very interesting build coming out from Kamikaze. If you're real right now and you're scouting along this build, the only thing that Oh, and you're scouting the bases of Kamikaze. I think the only thing that is a little bit off is the fact that there wasn't a starport yet. But otherwise, you know, it looks like a 1-1-1 with a Hellion opener.
Yeah, exactly. So very little was really out of the norm. If he had seen the tank, then maybe, but I believe he wasn't able to really confirm what units had been made. Additional factories are in production. We're getting into Banshees as well. So Kamikaze is just getting into the swing of things. Meanwhile, across the map, Ryu rushing into his lair, working towards Overlord speed. And oh my god, we're getting into some Hyperflight rotors.
Here we go, really doubling down here.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
on the Sky Terran.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to bring up as well, like, because Kamikaze was playing so uniquely against Terran, I was wondering how that would transfer into Zerg play, or against Zerg, I should say. And yeah, for now, it's going to be a very mobile army. This is kind of a new form of battle mech in a way, where you have Hellion Cyclone, or typically Hellion Cyclone, but also like a bunch of Banshees to support.
Yeah, I feel like it is a style that a lot of Terran players have been experimenting with for quite some time, but you know, it never really lasted that long in the meta. It would be like somebody brings it out, whips it out in a tournament, and then after about a week or so, it gets figured out, then you never see it again. But, you know, with all the changes to the Cyclone, maybe this is the time.
Maybe, especially because we are amassing quite a lot of them. Now we're switching to Hellions and tanks. We just have a marauding force to work with. Meanwhile, Yaku, do you know the name of this upgrade?
It's like, you know, it's like a rail gun.
Rail
it's
gun?
Like
yeah.
Rail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rail.
You know, whenever you say rail, I just
Railgun.
Whenever you say rail, I just keep thinking of No Clone. I don't know if you were here at the time, but I don't know if you've heard what No Clone's been saying, but he really likes roaches. He likes them.
Does he?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
He wants to rail them.
Yeah. I mean, that might solve our problems.
What problems? What
Our TVC problems.
What problems do you have that railing roaches is gonna solve? I don't understand.
Now that I think about it, not that many, because yeah, it is actually the lurkers that are giving me problems.
True.
In the matchup.
There you go.
Not so much roaches. In fact, as a matter of fact, Zerg players, if you're watching right now, make roaches. so we can rail them. And increase our MMR.
Oh god. Well, I mean, roaches will have to be made against mech especially, because going into any other form can be quite difficult to really accomplish. So Ryu, he is mixing in roaches, lings, we have hydras on the way as well. We spoke about it earlier, but he is known as the Muta King. Against this form of mech though, Ling Hydra Viper can do quite well, surprisingly well against this Mass Cyclone style, or at least it used to be the case, but now with the new Cyclone, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it used to be that Cyclones were almost like the stalkers in this matchup, where if you get a couple of lings into the crevices of the army and you get a full surround, they pretty much immediately die. They cannot kite back, they cannot make use of their mobility, which is really a big advantage. But now that they have a much faster attack speed, it might not matter that much. They might just be able to take out these low health units like Zerglings so quickly that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, especially with some Hellions to support. That's why we have a couple of Hellions just sprinkled in there to help support that army. Meanwhile, Ryu, he's going right for that Lurker Den. Of course he is. Again, he is the Lunker King of Latin America, papi. And that is still the case, despite, you know, maybe taking a bit of a step back from the game. It is still what he is known for. And we do have a solid tank line. This is another feature of this map. A lot of high ground is provided here for the Terran players, so they can cut the map in half. Fourth base is being taken, and there's no way to really approach this, not without trying to run past this siege line.
Or with a couple of spellcasters that Ryu is now working towards. That's 4 Vipers immediately on the way. Lurker Den still not quite done just yet.
Exactly. Hydra Lurker Viper is the composition here for Ryu, and this is his bread and butter. He does this in every single matchup. You can even get there in ZvZ as well. Not typically, but we can, you know, end up in that situation if we do go to the late game. Meanwhile, I appreciate the Kamikaze. He's fully aware of what late game mech really is all about, and he's gotten here, right? He's getting up to 4 bases. He's slowly maxing out. Ghosts are also being incorporated, and that's going to be a really big factor here when it comes to dealing with those Vipers.
Yeah. I don't think the copy paste about Ghost and TVZ is as relevant as it once was, but it's still a very key unit. You still absolutely need these Ghosts, because otherwise you're begging to get begging to die of Vipers.
Yeah, I agree, Yaku. You know, against Hydra, Lurker, Viper, we need Ghosts against the Vipers, the Lurkers, and the Hydras as well, and the Vipers even. So, you know, we are kind of incorporating them into the army. Meanwhile, Ryu throwing down 2 Nidus Swarms, a great way to try to bypass these units. So we do get a couple of yoinks in.
Ooh. Very important yoinks. So it was the only Raven in this army. It was the only thing really providing detection here for Kamikaze. Now he is going to have to rely on spellcasters. Oh, the Overseer is getting set up, and I don't think Kamikaze has vision here yet.
Yeah, the Nidus Swarms are still not ready. There is a turret on the way. It is queued up, but before we can even talk about the turret, before we can talk about the Nidus Swarms, here we go. The army's pushing on to creep.
Yeah, a little bit of unfortunate yoinking going on there from Ryu, as I think he actually yoinked Ghost into the Vipers, which just EMP'd all of them immediately.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of Vipers did go down. Only one Viper survives. Meanwhile, the Nidus Swarm is about to finish up, but we do have some reinforcements. We have the production that should clean this up. Banshee's coming in as well. These Niduses, they will not finish. I guess they barely did.
Yeah, but they're not really gonna do much here other than dying.
Yeah, again, plenty of turrets for detection. 2 Lurkers go down. Not the biggest investment from Ryu, but at least now Kamikaze's on notice. Now he knows that there is potential for Nidus Swarms. Meanwhile, we're just diving on top of these tanks.
Yeah, because Kamikaze was forced to bring back a little bit of his army here. His front line is a little bit more vulnerable. These Lurkers make short work of these tanks because there is no detection here. Once again, the Raven got sniped a little earlier on, and Kamikaze is being a bit more conservative when it comes to his scans.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And as a result, the Lurkers, they do manage to push through. There is now an opening here towards this 4th base. At the same time, Kamikaze ignores the army. He's pushing onto creep as well. Will he turn around or will he commit?
Up. Well, immediately he catches a couple of infestors, but they are able to get their fungals out before the EMPs land. A lot of Ghosts do go down, but Kamikaze will keep a couple of them with a lot of energy alive, and those tanks as well are still providing a huge amount of support here. It's really what's allowing Kamikaze to maintain his foothold.
Yeah, exactly. He's able to stand his ground. At the same time, Banshees did try to harass, but we have Queens to defend and, of course, Overseer as well. So the Banshees, they won't find a base. The Lurkers are gaining ground as well on the right-hand side. They do take down the Planetary. They're gaining access to the 4th base, and yo, Ryu, he's just going for it.
Yoinks like so. Has to be quite careful with these Vipers. He doesn't want them to get EMP'd or sniped immediately. Will yoink a couple of tanks, and he will be able to get that Planetary Fortress as well, at the cost of most of his Hydras and a lot of his Lurkers. In the end, worth it, I'd say, from the side of Ryu.
I mean, especially because obviously a mech army is quite expensive, and Kamikaze is stuck on 3 bases. He's desperately looking for a 4th. We do have Nidus Swarms being thrown down, 1 in the main, 1 in the natural. The one in the main is going to be shut down. The one in the natural, I believe it may just barely finish.
Maybe the tanks are not in position, but there's also not a whole lot in this Nidus Swarm anyway, so yeah, it is just something that forces out a scan and forces some reaction here from Kamikaze.
I love it. We just use that Nidus to just teleport to the center. It was
yeah, might as well.
Here we go. The Lurkers, they are going to be pushing in, and yo, we may even be able to outposition some of these tanks.
Yeah, only 2 of them are sieged up right now. We will be diving right on top of them, and he will be able to take every single one of them out. Vipers are still in position, but another really good EMP here from Kamikaze will be minimizing the risk. Kamikaze is starting to collapse on top of the siege up position of Ryu. Ryu's starting to lose a lot here.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of these Lurkers. It looks like the tanks are just too well fortified, and now we have to get the hell out of there. That was a costly trade from Ryu. At the same time, Nidus does finish up in the natural base, and Ryu does get in position, but there's, oh my god, the army is going to be dealing with this. Ghosts almost lined up, but the Liberators have arrived.
Is there a protection here other than scans?
No.
Ah, well, I guess it doesn't matter in the end. Yeah, Ryu decided to play it safe. He did evacuate his Lurkers. He doesn't want to have to remake them, as they are very expensive units. So Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter that much in the end. And I do like this from Ryu. He has kind of recognized that his current composition isn't working too well. He is working on a Great Aspire.
Yeah, he's working on that Broodlord transition as well, hoping to maybe force too much of a commitment to deal with these lurkers, like making too many ghosts. But little does he know that the ghost is good against the Broodlord as well. So we'll see how this does unfold as the lurkers are slowly going to be pushing on forward. Only one tank is in position. Kamikaze not quite ready here to defend this base.
Yeah, it's not a planetary just yet, and most of his army was elsewhere. Kamikaze will be losing a couple of SCVs. And Ryu is just going to continue to reposition, continue to try to catch Kamikaze in Unsiege.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to catch this army. These ghosts are looking a little bit exposed. No infestors, no fungals are available. We do yoink one of the libs at least. But can we get much else? Looks like we barely cannot. But again, Ryu, he does want to slowly trade out some of these units. As you were mentioning before, I believe Corruptors are on the way. 3 of them do come out, and we are getting ready for those Broodlords.
Slowly but surely. Well, we would be getting ready for these Broodlords if not for the fact that Ryu is maxed out.
Yeah, exactly.
So he actually does need to start trading a little bit here.
He is going to be looking for a fight. We do see a big reaction out of Kamikaze. He actually rotates everything over towards his now 5th base. I mean, again, very important for him to hold on to this, but he is now being spread thin, and this position here, once again, is looking a little bit bare. There's 2 tanks, there's 1 Liberator, and mate, we're going to yoink all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big problem here is that Kamikaze is just much lower in supply. He has, for a very long time, had a worker deficit that was a kill and not a cancel on that CC, so yeah, that's going to continue bleeding into Kamikaze's resources.
Oh,
He's been able to trade decently well, but he's never really been able to sustain these losses.
Right, it's something that, you know, we haven't really drawn too much attention to, but all the... Oh, God! The snipes are going to be coming in. The lurkers will go down. And what I was about to bring up is just the economy here for Ryu. He's up to 90+ workers. He's got bases all around the map right now. His economy has been left untouched this entire time, and the creep is getting out of control.
Yeah, he doesn't need that Nidus anymore.
Hey. Not anymore, as we do see Ryu actually taking one of Kamikaze's bases as well, and this is getting dangerous here. Kamikaze cannot allow this to happen. Again, he cannot be starved out, but at the same time, how can he stop this? As you mentioned before, Kamikaze just hasn't been able to max at all so far.
Yeah, he wants to get that Supermax army. He's stopped his SCV production entirely, but now he's down to less than 100 minerals when it comes to his bank. I mean, again, just look at the difference when it comes to their banks. Ryu has almost 10,000 minerals and well over 5,000 gas. Kamikaze is really struggling to get even 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. Good EMPs, I say good EMPs, they actually covered the Broodlords, not the Vipers, so actually did miss their targets. And Ryu, he is slowly pushing on forward here. Again, the Broodlords have been revealed, and as we lose some of these Hydras, more Broodlords are being made. 6 more in production.
Hey, that's all the Corruptors, so okay, he's got 1 still, so he can deal with these Liberators.
Yeah. He's got some Hydras.
Ish. Yeah. Yeah, he's got these Vipers too.
True, Parabomb.
Exactly. Parabomb and Yoink and everything, Papi.
Speaking of, there we go, a couple of abductions on those tanks of Broodlords coming in from the left-hand side, the lurkers as well. We are committing to the fight.
Yeah, but committing to the fight is exactly what Kamikaze wants, because once again, where's the anti-air from Ryu?
Oh, we have, it's coming. We have 14 Corruptors on the way. There's your anti-air, and Kamikaze does have a pretty large army for himself, and he's going to be rotating over towards the left-hand side. He's going to be exposing his bases over on the right, and Ryu could try to take advantage of this here with these Broodlords, as the Liberator does not shoot up.
Yeah, they do not. Oh, I love that. I love that image of all these Broodlords surrounding this Liberator. Unable to really do anything, but yeah, Ryu is taking advantage of the immobility of Kamikaze's army. He is just gonna take out some of these very, very fresh and important bases of Kamikaze before really committing to a fight. He's just looking to secure a victory right now instead of, you know, increasing his risk of throwing away his army for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. As we're going for basically a base trade at this point, and 3, 4, almost 5 orbitals are going down. We are getting into Thor production though, so the army of Kamikaze is becoming a little bit more well defined. But as I say that, looks like one of those Thors may just barely go down as Ryu is making his way towards the main, towards the production.
Yeah, it's all about these Brootlings as they are looking to target a couple of these goals. Very important pickoff here as these Infestors are really going to be the final nail in the coffin here for Kamikaze, I imagine. Already, he infects, neurals a Thor.
Oh, he does neural one of those Thors. Meanwhile, Kamikaze, he turns around. He does not commit to the base trade. He turns around for a big fight, but he gets bungled
immediately. And this time, there is plenty of anti-air from the side of Ryu. Not a lot of Vipers to chain parabombs, but the Corruptors do put a lot of work in. Surprisingly, the Vikings, a lot of them will survive, but not just because they survive doesn't mean they thrive. Parabomb comes in, takes care of the rest of them. Good game, well played. This is Kamikaze. Ryu is going to be taking game number 1 here.
GG, well played. Ryu with a masterclass of late game ZV mech, just taking the entire map for himself and being very aggressive as well. He was constantly in the face of Kamikaze, as you mentioned, never allowing him to max out, just constantly just in his face, going for all these Nidus worms as well, going for all these backstabs, trading, and even taking down some bases. So yeah, even though like mech typically slows down the game, Ryu was very active.
Yeah, I'm looking at the post-game stats here, and I think this one statistic really sums it up. Ryu created 170 workers. Kamikaze created 80. That's really all you have to know about how much of an economic disparity these players had in game number 1.
Oh, yeah, exactly. As oh no, I just saw in the chat.
Oh, Tomio Kutro mapa para Oryu.
Yeah. It sounds like Kamikaze actually it has run out of time, and it looks like he is unable to play out the rest of this series, and he has forfeited game 2, which means Ryu will take it all in the end.
Yeah. Nicely done here, and well-deserved to Ryu, but also kind of disappointing here for Kamikaze. I mean, that might have been why he was playing these more quirky builds to try to end the games earlier, but yeah. Maybe if that game didn't go on for 20 minutes, we might have gotten to game number 2, but I'm glad that we got to witness the game that we got.
It was good. It was a good game. And as you were saying, like, I feel a little bit robbed. I would have loved to have seen more between these two players. Would have loved to have seen even a game 3, but unfortunately, Kamikaze is going to be bowing out. He is going to be forfeiting, which means Ryu advances on to the round of 16, where he has an opponent ready and waiting.
Already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's refresh the bracket over here as we take a little look-see. Ryu will be facing Warren in the prequel round.
Oh. The prequels?
Yeah,